Unapologetically black. I'm black, capital A, capital F. I love black women. Hennessy, black with no chaser.
What comes to mind is no cut cards. We're not holding back anything as black people, regardless of whatever the struggles, regardless of whatever pain, everything that we pretty much felt in 2020. Black with no chaser represents we not holding nothing back 2021. Everything they said we couldn't get, we coming to get.
Really appreciate y'all. This has been one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done.
Well, I like this Black with No Chaser radio station. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Lunch Break. Today we are talking to Wallace Smith from CW's Black Lightning. Not only that, you've seen him in New Edition story on BET. You've also known him from Disney's Hamilton and The Lion King. He's really versatile in everything that he does. He's a true creative. We have a wonderful conversation with him, and we just hope you guys enjoy it too. So let's get into it. Wallace, welcome.
What's up? How y'all doing?
What's poppin', bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys on this beautiful Friday?
No complaints.
Sun is shining out in DC. It's a little chilly though than what I like it to be. It's like I think 44 degrees outside, and so it's still.
Oh man.
I thought we broke, man.
Listen, we cold down here in Atlanta too. It's in the 40s. I'm like, what's happening?
Atlanta down here tripping, man. So you guys are not alone.
You know what's crazy is, man, DC, I've never seen a city more ready for hot weather than like it could be like 60 degrees, 55 degrees, and folk would just
tops down. We ready.
It's crazy. DC is one of them cities where it's a functioning city. Like, you know what I mean? Like from that's why when people come out here, man, now they be like, yo, what's up with the brunch scene? What's up with that? DC is known for the brunch scenes. And even more than New York, even more than LA or whatever, like DC is like brunch central. Like when you come here,
lit.
you know that you're gonna get brunch somewhere, and you know that it's gonna be different. Like it should happy hours and brunch is DC, right? The nightclub, whatever. We like strip clubs, the stadium. And they got the other, they got the counterparts of like Camelot and all that. Day parties, brunches, and happy hours. That's prime time DC. Everything else is, people do it or whatever. I think I feel like more the locals be going heavy on that going out at night, like 10 to 2 type vibes.
Yeah.
Where, people that be doing like, that's like transplant. Not saying that people don't be staying out from, till late hours, but anyway.
That's good, bro. I needed that. I've only been to DC like maybe once or twice, and I had some shrimp, some shrimp and grits down there, and they were good.
Where'd you go?
It was right. I don't remember, man. This is like 2009.
Okay,
I can't remember the joint. Man,
stuff in DC be opening up, be closing down, bro. Cause the rent here be high as hell. So like, honestly though, if you live in DC, bro, you may be DC broke, but you ain't hurting. You not like, oh, God damn. But it's like making in LA, right? Like if you out there, you making in LA, like you may be cash poor per se, to some degree. But if you take that same pay and put it in many other places in this country, dog, you out here living like like royalty.
Big facts.
Big facts. Bro, you out there in LA, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I grew up in Santa Monica, California, but it's LA. It's all LA.
LA, yeah, for sure. You one of them Third Street Promenade kids. You got the Third Street Promenade. You know what I mean? On the beach, I-10 West vibes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
All of that. All of that. You know about it.
Yes, he does.
I lived there for 3 years, man. My first crib. I don't know if you know my boy James Bland, but James, who created the series Giants, he won a couple of Emmys too. They actually did really well with that. And me and James, when he was the PA at Sony, we were roommates. And our first crib was on Maplewood Ave, like 2 blocks off Melrose, across the street from Paramount Studios. And so we were right there. And when I told everybody like, "Yo, I live on Melrose," they're like, "Oh, damn, bro, you made it." And then I'm like, "Nah, homie, like, cause Melrose is like it's like the old money for real. So like when you go down Melrose, a lot of Melrose is like some places may be closed down, some places may be like kind of boutique-ish and whatever. But you got to get further down, go further west before you get into Melrose. I'm like I'm like third in Melrose. You need to go like
that way.
I'm sorry, I'm like Vermont and Melrose. Yeah, so you need to go that way. And then you can talk about I made it. But where I was at, and, and then I was in Cape Town for 2 years, and then that was it. Yeah, so Cape Town was fun though, man. I learned what a Tokyo tea was. I didn't even know what Tokyo. I never had a Tokyo tea since I left LA. So,
wow.
I mean, anywho, Wallace Smith.
Welcome to the Black Lunch Break.
Man, this is where it's at right here. This vibe is
yes, indeed. Yes. Look, I'm glad you answered and feel the vibes because that's what we catering. Exactly what we catering. My name is Sika.
I'm all about vibe. Sika.
And Cirillo.
Yes, and Cirillo. Usually, like at the bottom of it, they have our names up there, but I don't know. StreamYard's tripping today. It's all good though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, we got we've been doing the Black Lunch Break now, brother, for about a year.
Dope.
We've collected I would say 6-figure views at this point. The brand Black with No Chase has been around for a year. The Black Lunch Break came about because being in quarantine and how do we connect with not just our community but really with us. And so we just gonna go live. Had the same conversations we would have amongst each other. We just gonna go live and bring it to the folks, and it ended up being a thing. And so now the third season in, and so boom, just like that. And so brother, it's a blessing to have you on here. We
thank you for having me.
Moving in the right direction, man. So obviously want to get more to your career, man, and how you got to this point, and really all things Wallace Smith, man. So again, welcome to the Black Lunch Break, man.
Thank you so much for having me. This is dope.
So first question though, at the bottom of the screen, brother, it goes to you. What comes to mind when you hear Black with No Chaser?
Just being unadulterated, just blackness, right? Like whether to me it means whether you're talking about Black issues or whether you're talking about the Black experience, just giving it raw, right? And so that means people's stories, where people come from, unfiltered, unedited. That's what comes to mind when I think about Black with No Chaser.
For sure.
And that's exactly what we are.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I nailed it.
See, we come to appreciate everyone's answers because it's going to be a different vibe and a different perspective every time. And of course, every time it's right. A lot of times people think that there's one answer, but there's always more than one answer to certain things. And your answer is on point for sure.
I got a sidebar. Sika, I know Sika wants to get to the more of the question. Go ahead. But I know that from work and things I've been reading about you, man, you like big into social justice issues, things of that nature, and especially dealing with the Black community, our communities. And so, just gotta ask right now, what are your feelings about this Derek Chauvin trial? You feel like
good question.
Feel like I don't know if you've been watching it, but if you've been watching it, it's like you got any feels about it? You feel like it's going in a way that is trending towards getting justice for George Floyd and the family of George Floyd and the Minneapolis, Minnesota community, or is it like in the pit of your stomach? It's like, dog, this shit can go really left quick if we don't. You know what I mean? So like, how you know?
Well, I haven't been following it. For one, just because like doing working on Black Lightning and stuff, and sometimes just being away from the TV, right? But my history with cases like this, and I'm always hoping that I'm wrong when it comes to hoping that Blacks get justice when they are in a situation where law enforcement, white law enforcement, seemingly always has the upper hand, right? I grew up at a time when Rodney King, I was a kid and I watched Rodney King, the police officers that beat him, to almost to death get off. And they had video footage of that back then. And that was the riots, you know, the 90s riots in LA. So it's difficult for somebody like me to answer that question because I think I'm kind of I hate to say it, but I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to just think that, you know, we're not going to get justice because we've seen it happen so many times. And I've you know, paid attention to trials where you're hoping and it looks like it's going to go our way. And then you're like, what happened? Like, are we not seeing the same thing? Do we
Yeah.
not all see the same tape? So with this one, man, even though I haven't been watching it, I don't want to sound biased because I haven't been watching it, but I hate to say it, but you know, there's always a part of me that's ready, that's bracing for the same
Mm,
thing that a lot of times we've always gotten.
true.
Completely
True.
understand that. And the way that you
Yeah.
look at it, the same way, I feel this exact same way. So I've chosen not to watch it because I
Mm.
don't feel like it. I don't feel like feeling the feeling of disappointment because I just feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna sting me at the exact moment where we feel like something's gonna be going our way. It's like we're
Yeah.
tired. We're so tired of the game that's being played on us mentally and spiritually with this trial in itself. Because watching so many black men be on that stage, well, I am gonna say stage. I'm gonna take that back because let's be real, them having to pull these stories out of these witnesses, this is something they're getting a kick out of this, and they know that this is not going to be an easy moment for these black men to have to relive this. So
Mm.
it's a bit disappointing to have to see them have to break down in front of the nation like this. And so I've opted out of actually watching it. And I know my bro Cirillo, like you've been into it. So how are you feeling watching it, ingesting it, seeing that
Yeah.
Wallace and we haven't?
Well, I think it's two. I always look at it. Yeah, I'm wearing two hats here, right? One, being a black person in America, understand the history of America, right? Similar to Wallace, what you said is similar to what Sika you said. From a legal standpoint, I'm looking
Mm.
at it and looking at the mounting evidence against Derek Chauvin. Um, I, obviously he's been charged with a few different things, and the big one was, and I'll just say this because I don't want the whole thing to be about this. I want to get thoughts, but the the big win before the trial even happened was getting the lesser included offense of the third degree murder charge in there, right?
Wow.
Without that, I think we are left with some real disappointment. Me and CJ went through the first degree murder in Minnesota, second degree murder, manslaughter, third degree on our platform to give people a really contextualize what's to come. You know what I mean? So it's kind of setting people up so they can understand that the line of questioning is that there are certain things that are being said subliminally, right, through questioning that happen. Right? They through the setting the scene, the questioning of the officers, and so on and so forth. There is a way in which they're lining this up so that as jurors begin to connect the dots, and then when they finally
Mm.
get handed over the jury instructions, and they're looking at, okay, element by element, they go, okay, this is this standard, that's that standard, okay, well, I'm not sure about this, oop, that's reasonable doubt, but I'm really sure about this, boom, guilty, right? So they trying to make it like it's for sure that, because the only question here is not that Derek Chauvin killed him. We know he killed him, right? It's not that we don't have to worry about his intent, whether or not he wanted to kill him in third degree, right? So that's an important fact. And
Yeah.
then the other piece is the really what it is this depraved heart or recklessness about the knee to the neck, and when did it move from being reasonable to unreasonable? And I think that that's really the question of the jurors, or all that's really the crux of the case is, did the knee to his neck was the causation to George Floyd dying? And if so,
Mm.
the next question is, was it reasonable still to have your knee on his neck? And if it was unreasonable, therefore was reckless, and therefore we get third degree murder, right? At minimum. And so in terms of like just how we're thinking about this, that's how you really got to be looking at the testimony from the witness right
Wow.
now, is looking at from the standpoint of what are the standards of in terms of like from purposeful, knowingly, provocation, right, recklessness, right, understanding those standards and what it means to be reasonable and in the mind of a law enforcement officer. And that's why they're going through policy procedures. They're going through former sergeants. They're going through like whatever, because they want to make sure that hey, EMT said he was dead on arrival. So your neck was still on his your knee was on his neck while they arrived. So then now you can't say that's what caused it. You have to connect the dots and connect that in the jury's minds. And if you can do that, then I think we got a good chance of securing a guilty verdict. That's it. All right. So
wow.
That's it. Okay. On to the interview.
on to the interview. All right. Goddamn.
Oh man.
So let's
I mean,
get
you
into
brought
it
me up to
though.
speed. Yeah, let's get into it.
Black Lightning. How are you feeling about this, Detective Hassan Shakur? Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, that's it. It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. How am I feeling about it? You know, we don't have that many black superheroes,
Facts.
especially in network television. To be a part of this show, it's been an iconic moment for me, right? To be, first of all, to be working with somebody like Cress Williams, who I watched growing up, who is just a class act. Working with him has been like a master class because I come from the theater. So I've done TV, but I haven't done it a lot, right? And so
Yeah.
to be given this type of character that's recurring on this show, the last season of the show, going into it, I didn't even know it was going to be the last season. So there's been a lot of surprises and turns and twists for me. And the writers have been great because they've just been writing stuff for me and putting the story into this show. So it's been exciting. It's been a really like fantastic roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I will
You
say, right?
mentioned. Oh, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well,
Go
he
ahead.
mentioned something about
I love
he
it.
mentioned something about like it being the first time for a black superpower hero. So I want to mention though that you also were a part of Apollo on stage, and that was the first time that people saw a boxing ring on stage too. So you seem like you're gonna be like in an innovative state by being like the first of a lot of things. How does that even feel?
That was a really big moment for theater. I've done I did it for about 14 years, and I've never seen a boxing ring be put on stage and go out into the crowd. I've been blessed to be with directors and producers and creators that have really brilliant ideas. And it was all timing, right? Like I came into the theater at the same time that they did. And I've been able to be blessed with these once in a lifetime opportunities. So to take Rocky, which is an iconic boxing film, right? About Philadelphia and all of that, to take that and put that experience into a theater. I mean, it's big when Will Smith and Jada, come down to see the show just because, Will is from
Facts.
Philly and he's like, yo, this means a lot to Philly culture. And then to look out in the audience and to see them like going crazy, right? Yeah, you start to think, at least you hope as an artist that you keep getting those types of opportunities. And Black Lightning being a part of Hamilton, for instance,
Amazing.
those moments, yeah, man, they're not like you don't just wake up every day and get an opportunity to do that. So I've been blessed, like really, really blessed to just be in the right place at the right time.
So like,
Absolutely.
one thing about and I guess you've been able to do it with a certain degree of success thus far because like when I see people that are born on in theater, right? Actors born in theater. And I feel like a lot of actors, even through acting school and stuff like that, you have some time where you're on stage and doing theater. But that's not I feel like once like people that are in theater have this certain kind of like approach to acting. Like there's like this and I don't want to cast
Je ne sais quoi.
every but they know
Yeah,
it's like this approach that like that sometimes is not always transferable to the big screen, if you will, right?
yeah,
Or TV
yeah.
or TV. It's almost like it becomes like almost too theatrical and not you embodying like whatever that character is. You know what I mean? Like how what kind of like as somebody that was really born on the stage, right? Doing theater, How are you able to kind of make that leap a bit more seamlessly than other folk?
Mm-hmm.
Did it come more natural, or something you had to kind of like, transition into?
It's definitely work, right? Because you're going from one form of expression to another form of expression. So theater, if you've ever, you guys know you've been to the theater before. You have a lot of room, right? A lot of space to cover because it's a big house. So you can be really expressive with your hands and your arms and your voice and everything. But on TV, you got this microphone right here. And this microphone is very powerful because it doesn't need a lot to convey what you want to say to the audience. I always watch Denzel because Denzel started in the theater. And to me, he is the blueprint, not his style, right? Like you don't copy people's style, but you do copy their ability to take emotions and convey them to the camera. So I've always watched actors that had a theater background, Viola Davis,
Mm-hmm.
Chadwick, those guys really do a great job and you can learn something from that. But then it also comes down to your director. So like for me on Black Lightning, Salim Akil, he does amazing work. Like everybody knows his work, right? His different shows. But when you get on set with Salim, he knows how to kind of temper and tell you where the dial needs to go, because sometimes you're playing it what you think, but you need a director, you need eyes to help you. So I think for theater actors going to TV, we need directors that know that that's our background and can kind of adjust, because once you adjust a theater actor, they're in the game, right? For the most part. Because it's better, like there's actors that do TV and film, you put them on stage and it does not translate.
They can't hold
But
the
that
run. Yeah.
yeah. And what happens is I put it a lot of times on the directors. Like you have to tell them, hey, it's not reaching to the last seat in the theater. And so you need that same thing for TV, for a director to say, hey, it's too big. You can bring it back. You can be honest, make it small. So it goes hand in hand. It's like a dance, right? And I think that's how you're able to kind of find your rhythm coming from the theater.
Word. Yeah. And I feel like in theater, even the whisper would be like really, really spoken loudly. It's not really a whisper.
Bruh.
It's a whisper, like bro, whisper be like, yo, in the back row here, like, but you gotta, that's an argument, something to make it still sound like a whisper, but
Yeah.
it still be projected loud enough to where people felt it and heard it in the back. And so anyway, I'm just glad, because I always want to ask somebody that question. I'm like, because not
Yeah.
How
everybody
do you do both?
and
It's a
going
great
back
it's a
and
great
forth.
question.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And there is an art to it, which is why, for me to get this opportunity where you're on camera, I think I've done 10 episodes. For me, from where I come from, it's major. It's a big deal. It's great. It's great practice.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
Now I
tell
want to
us, how did it feel about being in The Lion King? Because, I mean, let's just be real. That's the total classic for everybody. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
generation you're coming from. And being adult Simba, that's a huge role. So how was
Yeah.
that? And how was the mental preparation for playing such a big role? Because you got all these eyes that's anticipating your performance.
Well, for people that don't know about the Lion King Broadway, like the theatrical version, it's probably one of the best pieces of theater that's ever been made.
All
I say next
facts.
next to Hamilton, right? Like Hamilton, Les Mis, The Lion King, these are all juggernaut shows for a very specific reason. And The Lion King, first of all, it's black. It's black people,
Oh,
right? Like if
yes.
you always wanted to know, is it possible for black people to be a part of something iconic in the theater? It's Disney's The Lion King on stage, right? To get the role of the adult Simba was crazy because it took me 4 years to get it. And then it took another 3 years to actually do it 8 times a week consistently without your body breaking down. It's very physical, right? So you do a lot of jumping, cartwheeling while you're singing upside down. You got to wear puppetry that can, that's a whole nother thing, right? So there's all these layers to the beauty of this show, The Lion King. And it took, I mean, it was like the work of my 20s. Like I don't regret it at
I
all.
mean,
Some of the
7 years.
best. Yeah, it took a lot of work. Um, and anybody that's done The Lion King, anybody that's famous now that's done it, there's a reason why they were able to do The Lion King. There's something in you that there's something in you that you have that show either gives to you or brings out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know when people hear like you were in The Lion King, dun, 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 that's what people think if they don't know, right? But if you actually know about the cultural history of that show, it is one of the most spectacular things that showcases Black talent.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
what did I got was a follow up now. So what did the Lion King give you? Like what did you take from it? Give to
the
you?
Lion the Lion King gave me courage. I
Mm.
feel like when I did Lion King, before I did it, I was charismatic. I could get on stage and perform and sing and do whatever. But the Lion King made me dig. It made me find my soul as an artist, right? And I don't think that every show does that. I don't think that every show demands that you find your inner king or queen. The Lion King
Mm-hmm.
does that. If you're playing Nala on stage, you have to find that queen. If you're playing the adult Simba, you have to find that person. And then it bleeds into your life because
Mm.
all of the songs that were not written by Americans. It was written by this amazing composer by, his name was Lebo M from South Africa. That music was written out of the times of apartheid. So, there's certain songs that from the movie, like Just Can't Wait to Be King and all the cute stuff. Yeah, that's cute. But when you see the theatrical version, you're getting songs and rhythms that come from Africa, that come from us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just
Wow.
bottle that up and sell that at Disneyland or Disney World. You have to go to the theater. You have to go to New York and check that out. And it's a whole nother experience, whole nother thing.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
You definitely made me look at it in a different light now, because I definitely didn't know that those songs were written in apartheid. That's
Yeah. There's a
instrumental.
there's a song that the adult Simba sings in the second act of the show called Endless Night. And it's like his 12 o'clock number or whatever they call it in theater terms. It's his big number. But the song is about him searching for his father. Lebo and I were in a session and he was like, I wrote this song about Nelson Mandela. Like
Mm.
it's not about Mufasa. It's about me singing to Nelson Mandela because he was like the father to us. And when he disappeared, it was like, when is this endless night gonna end? For our father to come home. It's
Mm.
deep, man. It's a lot of stuff that you just wouldn't know because it's like Disney, but it's deeper than that. That's what made that experience as an actor. It's probably one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of.
That's lit.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Wow.
Like, cause like it, this like I feel like similar to how I felt during that Ducat interview we did, Sika, and they were talking
Yeah.
about the journey into like having their own gallery and like the history behind it and like what it means to be a collector. I think that
Mm,
like I think if we talk to our folk in a way and we heard from people that look like us about theater, more of us one would get into theater, but also would go see
Yes.
theater. I think a lot of
yes.
times it's not normalized. It's so much stuff is not normalized in our communities, and so it's like we gotta get to a really level of sophistication in our lives so we can appreciate something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody exposes that to us and brings it back to the communities. But if even telling your story right now, like it's like damn, like there's the importance of like talking about theater in this way and
Yeah.
explain it. You know what I mean? Because when you hear that, you go, there's a certain sense of pride. You like, yo, the theater is not just about people just on stage and carrying out a role. It's like it's story within the story, and it's like being able to like have an appreciation for that. I think goes back to just having a sense of pride about who you are and where you come from. And I think that what you were able to do there is go. Not only is it dope because I'm in this role, but it's dope for like more reasons besides just being, the adult version of Simba. And so that's the true magic in everything you were saying just now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
my first
that's lit.
time seeing you on the screen was for the New Edition story. So when we got the opportunity to interview you, I was like, "Yo, I know exactly where I've seen you from. So let's get into it, because you're a music artist yourself. So I'm pretty sure being just in that entire environment felt like a confirmation for the creative that you actually are. How do you feel about that?
The New Edition story, I wanted to be in that movie so bad.
I bet.
And it's funny because the way it started for me, and BET, that they'll tell you, I was, before they knew the guys that they wanted to go with and the age range that they wanted to play, they were seeing everybody. So my first audition was for Mike Bivins, right?
And by the way, I interviewed Mike Bivins. Mike Bivins is dope.
Yes,
dude,
he did.
Mike Bivins is one of the dopest people, man, in the culture. He's done he's given me, like, Boys to Men. That's like my favorite, like, R&B male singing group. Like, that's Biv, you know what I mean? Like, it's Biv all day.
Yes.
So I auditioned for that, and what happened was they kept seeing me for the role, and when they decided that they were going to go with Brashear from Empire, Chris Robinson had called me, and he was like, "Listen, we know it didn't go your way, but there's this other part that we think you would be great for." And I actually knew who Jeff Dyson was because I had done so much research on the group for like 8 months, right, leading up to like shooting the film. So that was how I ended up getting that role. I didn't have to audition for it. My audition was auditioning for Mike Biv, and then they just gave me that. And then to actually be like on the sound stages with those brothers, they worked so hard. Those cats worked at it, you know what I mean? But then to be on set with like Ronnie, Ricky Bell, Ralph Tresvant, the whole squad, and they're not just there to be like, yeah, these kids are telling our story. Like, they're there giving them notes on like footwork.
Working.
I mean, these guys are working. It was a dream come true, man. And that's like one of my favorite groups of all time, New Edition, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think the other thing that was dope was to see kids of now be like, yo, who's New Edition? And then watch the movie.
Yes.
And then you got kids making videos doing If It Isn't Love choreography, and it's timeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
Like,
it was a blessing.
We definitely have to thank y'all for that, because I just remember when it was coming out, and to see that it wasn't coming all out at one time, and like we had to be on the edge of our seats for it. I was like, this is genius. This is the best way to tap all of the generations back into some timeless things. Like, it was like a moment of like, remember now, don't forget New Edition. And the fact, like you said, with the kids being able to make these videos now, that just only gives them the encouragement to go see who else was in their time, so they can remember that music has a whole different origin than what they are currently listening to. That's what's so dope about the New Edition story.
It was sweet.
DeVoe and New Editions, there wouldn't be Jagged Edges and Drew Hills.
Yes.
And so it's like they really would they set the blueprint, at least in my in terms of like in the 80s and the 90s, especially like early 80s, right? Like almost even late 70s. Like they like been out, and people don't even realize. Sometimes you be like, damn, like we fall so much in love with the success, right? By the time somebody makes it there, that we can't even fully appreciate like the 10, 12 years beforehand, and then that how people mind you warp, because you see somebody one day, you be like, man, they came out of nowhere. You be like, nah. More often than not, most people put in 10, 8, 9, 10 years, 12 years before they even make it to their first big whatever, right?
That's real.
I just feel like every story that I ever read, it's always like this decade worth of work where nobody knows who you are, where nobody gave a damn about you, where nobody was checking for your shows, and you was getting 2 views, and then all of a sudden you like, they go 500,000 views, they go this next role, they go this next whatever, and it's like you said in the very beginning about timing.
Yeah,
I think that there's some like definitely aspects of like timing, but also it's like I think that time only works for you when you work through time.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like
that.
Like you gotta be working through time to finally get
that's
to
right.
the moment when timing can
not waiting on time.
Yeah, it's like
right.
If you sitting around like, yo, my time will come one of these days. Okay. I guess I don't know what you're doing with your time. Make sure your timing is right. But I mean, I think that if you follow every person that you deem great or successful, there's been a breathing period or incubation period of this potential energy been rolling and rolling and rolling, and finally you see it, and it's like, oh shit, they made it. But like they made it because they put in the work.
Man,
That's
I
right.
think I heard Lena Waithe say, yeah, the business is full of politics. Yeah, it's political and it's the industry, but you have to do the work as an actor and as an artist. And a lot of times, cats only want to do the work when the light is on and people know that I want people to know that I'm working. But that's not how it works. You have to, if everything is going to be about you being seen, then your integrity is never going to have the ability to really grow. Like your character can't grow because you're not going to get all those pats on the back while you're on camera. Like it's lonely. Working on your craft is lonely. Like I don't having an idea is lonely, right? Because you go through all these things of like, well, should I even go through with this idea? Because like I know somebody's had this idea before, so I don't want to look stupid with this idea. But that part of the process is what makes an idea become a reality. And I'm just grateful that like this platform that we're on right now, like this was an idea. And imagine though if somebody was like, nah, man, that's stupid. Ain't nobody gonna be watching us during the lunch hour or whatever, do this. It is important that generations see that it's not easy, right? That everybody does have a beginning that you don't get to know about until
Yep.
time says, ta-da.
Now you can know about it.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
You guys just keep
Keep
moving.
moving.
And considering the type of creative that you are, you've been in theater. Well, you are in theater. You're an actor, so you're on the TV screen, and then you still manage to uplift your music career. And
Yeah.
being in the music industry myself, I know that that isn't easy. So for you to be able to constantly put out music and put out EPs and actual albums, you just put out something in 2020. How does
Yeah.
that feel to be able to cater to your music career while still catering to your film career?
Listen, when I was a kid, I used to play Sega Genesis and like Super Nintendo a lot. And I remember playing like this is before video games had like people talking in them, and it would just be
yeah,
music though, right? Like you hear like you be playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and they'd be like dun 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 dun, dun, like
that's it.
you had the music. I would be
That's
sitting on
it.
my mom's bed while I'd be playing the video game and hearing the music, and I would make up lyrics to the music, and that turned into like me recording myself writing my own songs. So now when I'm doing stuff like making an EP and it's not about me trying to have a record like to get signed by a label. It's an actual love that I have for it. But then also the platforms now have are geared more towards artists making a name for themselves, artists pushing themselves and
That's
their
right.
content and what they want to say. And I think we had to get to this place because there's so many grassroots artists that you would never know about that are more talented than the people that the Grammys are gonna push, and that's just a
Absolutely.
fact. Nobody has to admit it. We all know it because we
We know
listen to
it.
the music. But like Lena said, it's politics, but that shouldn't take away from you working on what you love. And music is just something that I've always loved, and so doing EPs for me is not like, yo, okay, I got to do this and I'm gonna go do the video and then I'm gonna go, put this and get views. I don't care if nobody ever listens to it. As long as it's something that I put into the universe for somebody to find it one day.
Facts.
To me, you can't take that away from me.
No,
That's mine. You
that's
know,
that's the main thing about creating,
That's
man.
the beauty
that's
of it.
We
creating.
just
Yeah,
we just talked.
yeah.
Me and Sika just had a conversation about that. I think like 2 days ago, maybe something like that.
Hmm.
About this whole like, yo, it's easy for you to maintain a certain level or autonomy and agency about who you are when you putting out things that you feel that you want to put out, not before anything, but like. And so if you catch the vibe, how people say, my girl always says, if it doesn't ride, then let it fly. And almost like the
Hey,
same thing goes when we create things. It's like, dog, I may create like they got. It's funny. I was mentioning James Baldwin for a second because I read probably every James Baldwin book there is. Most people
mm,
only know James Baldwin for certain books, right? I think The Fire Next Time and No Name in the Street and Go Tell on the Mountain is like really his featured books. But there's many books he wrote about before he really got into the 60s or the height of the civil rights movement. And they didn't want to publish him in America because they wanted James Baldwin to be this like angry black man He was writing. He was a literary genius. But by being a literary genius, he was like, hold on, dog. Like, I want to write about love and sexuality and gender and this and that, right? And he had stories to tell. And I think that was part of his way of saying, well, I'm also telling stories of me that I don't see in my communities, but only, the plight of black folk. But black folk have risen through and have been kings. And I want to write about all that. I want to write about whatever I can write about. I want to write about it. And I think that now you can appreciate this, bringing it full circle, because he's put so much out there. People can now appreciate him and go back and be like, man, who was the man behind, the person behind this work? And I'm pretty sure 20 years down the line, Wallace, bro, like people gonna be like, well, who's this brother? Like when you're in your 50s and 60s and you've risen through the ranks, and you know what I'm saying, you done did all these amazing things, including what you already done to this point. It's gonna be like, damn, I didn't even know bro was like in photography, and he did music and he did songs, and now those songs carry more weight. It's gonna be like it's like collective art. Some art in the beginning is not worth a damn time. Something happens in history that's not even related to that person,
then
but brings
boom,
it back to the art, and then boom, that artwork that was worth $5 now worth $1,000,000. And so that's the beauty of putting it out, like put out the work. That's it.
Shit.
That's
You
all.
said it all right there. Yeah.
I wanted to just like, so I be.
listen, you always close a sermon perfectly, bro. I mean, it's your niche.
Hey, you put the button on it.
It be my rants, man. I be having these rants on the show, man. People get to talking. It don't happen with everybody though.
Okay.
Nah, it don't.
So we got a vibe going. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the vibe. Because everybody
don't miss that part.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, no respect to everybody who came out, and then not to mention anybody, but everybody ain't. Sometimes you see
ain't receptive to the vibe.
Yeah,
that's it. It's a frequency. That's why, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
It's true.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and all right, talk to you later. Like it's be whatever. Yeah, but there's no love lost. I think that sometimes, bro, like.
I know for a fact sometimes it's a matter of people not understanding that, that double consciousness that we're always talking about, that doesn't exist over here. So sometimes we do get people that come on and they're just like, okay, straight interview mode, and as soon as that time actually ends, it's just over with. And we can tell when they are in their double consciousness stage and when they are literally them. And I can truly say throughout this whole interview, you have been you. I feel your vibes, and we can appreciate that. And that makes us feel proud of our platform and the space that we're creating, because that's the point and the purpose of everything that we're doing over here. It's for you to feel like you just pulled up at home to the table to break bread.
You're just talking,
that's it.
Nah, and that's the stuff that I long for, right? To be able to have real conversation, especially if you with your people, we can save the glitz and the glamour and the Hollywood stuff for, everybody's going to do that. But people are hungry and thirsty for like
real truth.
Even just authentic, organic moments, which we are all in this pandemic fighting to have, right? Because it's like you in the house or whatever. So, that's why your platform is what it is. And it's blowing up, for that very reason. It's great.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Well, I know we took up more than the 30, man, but we don't want to take up too much more of your time. We know you're a busy brother.
It's all good.
But, I appreciate you for real, man. Like sticking around a little bit longer and just rapping with us. But
thank you.
Before we let you go, man, let people know about everything they can tap into right now, what you're doing, how they can be following you across social media. If you got any booking agency and all whatever you want to say, like just your final thoughts, right? Ready, set, go.
Yo, so you can follow me on Twitter at Wallace Smith 007. You can follow me on Instagram at Wallace Smith 007. You can check out my photography. I'm at From the Mud Images at squarespace.com. I try to use my Instagram to just be about photography and art. That's a real big thing to me. So if you're interested in that, that's a big part of like my career at this point. Check out Black Lightning. So we're back April 12th, right? It's going to be the premiere of the spinoff Painkiller. And then we're going to finish Black Lightning. So Yeah, I just got finished taping one of the scenes last night for the final episode. It's gonna be huge. Like, you do not want to miss how the story ends. So other than that, I'm back to LA. I think next Thursday I'm gonna get to the beach and
Chill out.
chill. Yeah,
Yes, facts.
just
And by the
chill.
way, though, I checked out from the mud. Followed you on IG or whatnot.
Word.
I like the photography, man. As a freelance, I feel like amateur photographer myself.
Oh
Uh,
man,
I think you got a good eye for just using just creating good composition within the piece, man. I appreciate you. The
I
raw.
appreciate
I
that.
love the themes you popped out, whether it be like in the house or in the streets or or whatever it is, right? It's like trying to be able
Yeah.
to capture those like raw, authentic like moments in my childhood, right? This stove is probably a stove that you seen that somebody in your crib is just a
Mm.
very like iconic. It felt like a stove my mom just threw in her
Iconic.
crib.
Hey, there was
I
something
mean,
about it, right?
when I saw that stove, and same stove was in my mom's crib, probably one of my homies' crib, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that stove is like really, it's funny. Like, to me, I was like, that's what
Nostalgic.
photos by
Yeah.
Wallace, by you, like people gonna look back on and be like, dog, like there's some energy
Wallace
about
shot
the photo.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wallace Smith
Dude,
shot
that's
that. I
dope.
just, that while some people may look at that stove and be like, ah, it was stove. But to me, that shit reminded me of home, and I appreciate that most. That so I just want to say that before you got out.
Bro, but see, that's why I say, photography, it's all art. You know what I mean? Like you, somebody else could see something that you take a picture of and be like, yeah, whatever, and then it speaks to somebody else, and that kind of goes back to that what we were talking about. At the minimum, you're creating, right? You're finding your voice. So that means the world to me, because that's exactly what I felt when I took that picture of the stove. It was like, man, this is my Aunt Myrtle stove, bro. Like, look at
Facts,
this
dog.
kettle,
Like,
you gotta appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Dope
yeah,
work,
So
bro.
thank
what's
I
you.
up,
mean,
bro?
we appreciate you over here at Black with No Chaser. We're supporting everything that you got going. And,
Thank you so
whenever you
much,
want to come
y'all.
back to the table, just let us
I'm
know.
coming back. I'm coming back. Definitely.
All right,
Bet.
Brody, man. Well, get on
Definitely.
out here,
Have a
man. Enjoy
great one, man.
the day, man. Safe
All
travels
right.
to LA, bro. Maybe we'll see you at the beach in LA one of these days.
That's what's
Right.
up, man. Absolutely. We'll be in touch for sure, y'all.
All
God
right, my G.
Until
bless.
next time,
God
bro.
bless, man.
All
Bless.
right. Peace.
Oh, so look, man, we just really jumped off the line, man. With Wallace Smith. Dope interview. Seek, how you feeling? How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling creative, because that's what the vibes that he gave us, nothing but creative vibes.
Very talented brother. Look, started on the stage in theater. Now he's on TV doing big screen type of features. But also he's an artist, right? He's a true artist. Not only the brother recording tracks, he got a photography website. I mean, I love when people out there creating just to create, for the love
Yes.
of the game. Me and my lady, we had this conversation about like just creating to create. Like, find out whatever it is
Right.
about industry you passionate about and create and live for those moments, right? Like, don't worry about the paycheck. I know it's very cliche, but it's true.
And it's a form of like release and therapy,
Yeah,
like people don't realize what they're missing out when they just don't, let the creativity flow and let it go.
but we gonna get there, man. But
We're
hey,
gonna get there.
but yeah, yo. So as we wrap up, per usual, right? Make sure y'all check out the website, man. We got a bunch of articles and news and trending right now. We're talking about the Derek Chauvin case, man. Got my boy Leslie articles all popping through there. Plus, a bunch of freelance writers, and we're always accepting more freelance writers. So if y'all about writing, y'all need a platform. You're a writer, you're creative. Black with No Chaser is the place to be. And so just want to put that out there, man. I know a lot of folks have been searching for a home. And how the church folks say, "Hey, yo, come on home, man. Come on home. This is home right here." And but also, look, make sure y'all going to the website, checking out all the gear we got too, man. The BWNC shop. The good news is that y'all, everything you're seeing right now about the website is that it's about to be revamped. It's gonna be
Change.
dope. It's gonna be crispy. It's gonna be everything you wanted it to be and some. And while that's happening, we're gonna be working on getting it better and better and better and better. BWNC is like the essence of fine wine, right? It takes time.
That's right.
You gotta let these things ferment a bit. But at the same time, though, we're gonna still be tasting this wine along the way. So we have, just in case folk get a little thirsty. But it's all good, man. It's all good. We're gonna be in there. Last thing I will say is make sure y'all follow us across all social media platforms. That's all our brands, including the Black Lunch Break. So we got BWNC Radio, we got Black with No Chaser and me. We got Black with No Chaser. We got Black with No Chaser Sports, right? And then on Twitter, a little slight deviation is Be Black No Chaser. Be Black No Chaser. That's the word BE Black No Chaser. All right. So with that being said, yo, man, we're gonna wrap it up today. And shout out again, man, for the brother Wallace coming through, man, and really, really blessing us with some knowledge about everything he has going on, but also just sharing the vibe and sharing space and sharing his space.
That's right.
With us, man. So yeah, with that being said, this is Black with No Chaser, but we think black.
We live black.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetically.
Being that you have such a reach, I thank you for putting me on, man.
For sure. And we always ask folks when they first come on here, man, because it's like a tradition. We started doing this the first season. We started, and the question is right there in front of you. You can see it. What comes to mind when you hear Black with No Chaser?
With no chaser. Pure, hardcore, the real. You know what I mean?
The real.
Yeah, man, the essence, the real essence.
Really appreciate y'all. This has been one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done. My job as one of the OGs, and my teachers will tell you, my teachers started Duke Ellington, the first class of Duke Ellington in DC. They were revolutionaries. They were street kings and queens. Glenda Dickerson, I got to give homage. Mike Malone, Peggy Cooper Cafridge, Skipper Driscoll, Charles Organs. Well, he's still alive, God bless. Charles Brown, who saved him.
Girl, what are you listening to? It really actually doesn't matter what you listen to. You need to be listening to Black with No Chaser Radio, clearly. So
forgot about that.
Never forget.
Right.
Never forget.
My mistake.
Black with No Chaser Radio.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Gotta get to the money. Same shit again on the money. Gotta get to the money. Same shit again on the money.